Hello, my friend, and welcome to TFU News and Views. I am your host, Anthony Brucali, owner, operator, madman behind TFU.INFO, the website, the Tory Archive, this podcast, Transformers University podcast, and oh so much more. And wanted to follow up on my previous episode of News and Views. We talked a bit about Transformers as your favorite superhero brand, but this time around, I did want to talk about something we touched on really quickly in the previous episode, and that is sales, the current state of toy sales. Because I think we're in a very unique and very interesting place. There have been recent sales, the Hasbro Pulse sale that I talked about last episode. Target has had a really good toy sale recently. Amazon right now has a lot of toys on sale, not necessarily Transformers. I do buy stuff for my daughter. Sometimes we pre-purchase for her birthday and Christmas, and she loves LOL surprise toys, and a lot of those are like half off or more right now on Amazon. So Amazon is really doing a lot of sales. Plus, there is some stuff coming up that I think is important for us as toy collectors and as Transformers fans. I've been getting good Masters of the Universe deals from Amazon too. Speaking of which, deepdiscount.com, they had a massive sale a couple of weeks back. Still a product popping in, though. They have more sales on Masters stuff than Transformers or G.I. Joe. But I want to talk about what that signals to me. And so one thing I noticed back probably at the end of April was something on my pre-order list that signaled to me that we were in a very strange place in terms of getting new product from Hasbro and other toy manufacturers. And that came to me in the form of my pre-order spreadsheet that I keep, that I've been keeping since pretty much the end of last year, when I realized I had a ton of pre-orders and not much coming in, and not knowing when things were coming in. So I created a list, and I'm sure a lot of you have some sort of similar spreadsheet of things that either you're expecting, that you've ordered. And for me, there's usually about 50 things on this list at all times right now. And what I noticed is that coming out of April, I had nothing due to me in May or June. Now, I received one item that I ordered in May, so that wasn't really a pre-order, but I did add it to my list. And then looking at June so far, and we're halfway through the month right now as of this recording, I've got 2 items that are shipping soon from Hasbro Pulse, and 3 items that were delivered early that had expected ship dates of December 1st, but I think that was really a placeholder. Those are the Legacy Walmart Deluxes. So those 3 figures all shipped technically 6 months early, but let's be honest, they're hitting stores, so it made sense that they are coming. Of the 2 that I have coming in, one was scheduled for August, so that's early, and the other one was delayed from April 1st to July 1st, so technically late, but earlier than the secondary date, and that's the Studio Series Nest Bumblebee. Now, the reason I bring that up is that gap in time. That was a 2-month gap where I was not expecting any pre-orders, at least not officially expecting any pre-orders to come in. That signals to me that the toy companies, some like Hasbro, and the retailers like Hasbro Pulse and Amazon, were not expecting things to come off of ships until months later, due to the shipping crisis from late last year. And so, as that crisis has slowly been alleviating, things are coming in. But as the economy has kind of gone into somewhat of a recession worldwide, that's not a U.S. thing, that is actually a global thing. And the gas crisis is probably leading that, also a global thing due to the war in Ukraine. It's created a problem for these places like Amazon, like Hasbro Pulse, in that you have warehouses that I'm going to assume don't have room to store new product. So in an attempt to clear space, very much why it's a clearance sale, companies like Hasbro Pulse and Target and these other places are having these big sales. And it's good for us. It's great for us as fans. I really did take advantage of the Pulse sale. I really did take advantage of the deep discount sale. I took advantage of the Amazon sale for my daughter. Spent $100 on LOLs that I probably will not give her until October or December. And you know what? I even bought a couple of things from the Target sale. So for us, it's all really good. If you're a collector, it's made things so much more affordable, especially after all the price hikes, right? But what does that say about what's coming? Because I look at my spreadsheet, and July is there's a couple things that are scheduled for July 1st. There's a couple things scheduled for August 1st. There are a lot of things scheduled for October 1st. Actually, no. What is that? 5. I got 5 things scheduled for October 1st, but then November 1st through November, through the end of November, through November 23rd. There's a lot of stuff coming in. Cybertron Metroplex, the entire Wreck and Rule collection from Amazon, some Studio Series, some Studio Series 86, some Legacy. There are a lot of things in the hopper for November, which makes me think, one, that's when they expected the shipping crisis to be done. Now, on the flip side of that, because of the global recession, I want to talk about an article my buddy John DeLuna from Radio Free Cybertron, at that John D on all of your favorite social media platforms, at that John D everywhere. He sent out an article from a website called Freight Waves, and it's entitled "Why Everyone is Freaking Out About Target's Inventory." And so this sales and full warehouses, it's kind of twofold in that, one, people are spending less because of the global recession, and two, retailers have ordered a lot of stuff based on early 2021 numbers. And because things in early 2021 coming out of the first full year of the pandemic, people were buying everything. People were buying all sorts of stuff. So, right, you couldn't keep things on shelves. People were worried about stuff being shipped. So they upped a lot of their orders for things. And so now they have these full warehouses. And I think that applies somewhat to toys and toy collecting and their stock for the future. So what does that mean for us for sales? Honestly, I think that means we might see a few more to come. I feel like Black Friday this year is going to be very good for toy collectors. I feel like we may see another Hasbro Pulse sale. And more importantly, in less than a month as of this recording, we have the return of Prime Day in July. Now, Prime Day, for the most part, has been a letdown. Pretty much the last 3 years, or at least for me. I don't know about you. I have a feeling Prime Day is going to be really good this year. I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities to pick a few things up here and there, especially for toys. If you've been on Amazon lately, they do seem to have all sorts. If you're a Masters of the Universe Origins collector, they seem to have things going on and off sale fairly regularly. So especially the latest wave and some of the deluxe figures. So if you're collecting that, keep an eye there. But that's one thing I think you're going to see a lot of price cuts come Prime Day. So while economically the world may be pulling into some sort of recession, that's not necessarily always a long-term bad thing. I feel like we use the word recession when we mean depression, because recession's the way down to the depression. Depression's the bottom point, and then you come back up, right, into a recovery. That's never necessarily one point. It's a period of time. So we may already be in a recession, and where that leads is still yet to be seen. But for us as toy collectors, and really very much first world problems, right? This could be very advantageous to us. So there's something you got your eye on that's at a retailer, and it goes on sale. I say try to take advantage of it as best you can. And I would say plan for Prime Day, July 12th and 13th, I believe. Plan for Black Friday, because I feel like this year there's going to be some sales. And of course, the other time there's usually sales. And a little insider tip here. 2 times a year that people forget that there's sales on toys, where new toys show up at least, and then sometimes there's sales. It's not necessarily both, but usually one or the other happens. We just passed one at Easter time. There's usually sales, and there's usually new product, and back to school. So come late August, mid to late August, expect to see new stuff on shelves. Expect there to be some sales, some clearances of old stuff. Hopefully you have a better Walmart than mine. Mine clearances stuff and does the weirdest things. Sometimes they really do deep discount their clearances. Other times they slap a clearance sticker on things. I've seen this with Marvel Legends with the same price that it was sold at, but with a clearance sticker instead of a regular sticker. So hopefully you can find some good deals while you're out there. So be ready to take advantage of those sales. And for me, I'll tell you, when it comes to sales, 10% doesn't cut it. It's got to be 20% or more, because 10% just covers the tax in most places, right? And keep an eye out. If you start seeing things 20, 30% off, you might not want to wait.
Hey, want to help out this podcast or the website TFU.INFO? There's a number of ways you can do it. Let me tell you how. You can help us directly by joining our Patreon and enrolling as a student at Transformers University. There, you'll get early access to the podcast as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes peeks and perks for as little as $1 a month. Sign up is quick and easy. Just swing on by to www.patreon.com/TFUINFO. Another way you can help us is by using our Amazon link, www.tfu.info/Amazon. Type that into your browser whenever you want to shop at Amazon, and a portion of what you spend will be contributed back to us. It's that easy. Finally, you don't become the world's longest running transforming toy archive without some help from other fans. We're always on the hunt for photos of figures and accessories we're missing from our pages. If you'd like to contribute, go to tfu.info/help for a list of what we need, or send an email to info@tfu.info. tfu.info, the Alpha Trion and Omega Prime of transforming toys. Now, back to the show.
So I want to thank you for listening to me rant a little bit about sales. Hopefully you've learned a few things. Hopefully, for all of us, there will be more sales coming in 2022. I do want to give a few more podcast shout outs. Last time I shouted out a lot of the Transformers and toy related podcasts I listened to. I'm going to shout out a few of the non-Transformers podcasts. I'm going to start with my friends Justin and Joe over at The Perfect Playlist. If you like music, any kind of music, The Perfect Playlist is a fun listen. My friends Justin and Joe, they go and they create perfect playlists based around the topic. Their most recent episode 22, the Desert Island from Hell. So instead of your Desert Island tracks, the album you can go to at all times, right? For me, it's probably Life of Agony's River Runs Red. I find myself going back to Haste's The Mercury Lift a lot, and that's a very, very underrated record. Most of you are probably going, who? And I will say, this is a really fun podcast if you just like music. The Desert Island from Hell. So it's all the songs that you would hate to be trapped on a desert island and forced to listen to for the rest of your existence. They even actually Joe mentions a conversation I had with him, because my initial reaction is the Eagles' Hotel California, because I've just heard it way too many times. But in deeper thought, and I think I tweeted this out, it is definitely John Mellencamp's Jack and Diane. Just that song, it starts out so big, and then it has this big opening riff and then goes nowhere, and then they bring it back and then it goes nowhere in a bridge, and then they go back to the nowhere verses. It's just like, it's a musical jigsaw puzzle, and it never pays off, and it's just a frustrating listen for me, at least. So that would be my Desert Island from Hell song. So give them a listen, The Perfect Playlist, wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, I've been listening a lot to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I don't listen to like every episode, but whenever he has like an SNL alum on or a celebrity I'm interested in hearing from, it's a really good listen. It's Conan O'Brien, uncensored, which takes a little getting used to, I think. But very fun, very funny. And let's give you one more. Let's see. Oh, the Ron Burgundy podcast is back. If you're into that, I think this is season 4 or 5. Fun listen, but has to be your taste in comedy. And you know what? I'm gonna give one more shout out to my buddy Mike Seibert over at the Mike Seibert Radio podcast. He just recently did an unboxing chat talking about stickers on Target exclusives, and I cannot disagree with him. He is a box collector, and I give him a hard time about it occasionally, but as a person who opens their figures, it still bothers me when I get things like that from Target or from Amazon. It bothered me with Draculus when I got that from Target, and I remember complaining online. And his detailing of Target's remediation process is worth listening to, because it is kind of entirely BS. Because I remember doing that with Draculus and then not returning it because I didn't know if I was going to get a new one or just get credited or something similar. And I liked the packaging enough on Draculus that I want to keep it. I actually still haven't opened it, but I want to keep that packaging because it's really cool looking. So yeah, give Mike a listen. Great episode that he did, and of course, keep it here. We got another episode of Transformers University coming up soon. And of course, all the news and views as things come out. It's Yo-Jo June, so don't forget to check out the Full Force podcast. Chris over there does a great job, and there's a lot of new Joe information every week this month. Lots of cool pre-orders, and I'll throw up links to Amazon up on the Twitter page. And I'll link to that article that John sent out, the Freight Waves article that we were talking about before. I'll link to that in the show notes. So until next time, I am your host, Anthony Brucali, owner, operator, madman behind TFU.info. See ya.
Want to be on the show? Leave us a voicemail at 702-763-4838. That's 702-POD-4TFU. Or send an email to info@tfu.info. Be sure to catch us on Twitter at TFU_info and on Facebook and Instagram under the username TFU.info, all one word. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TFU.info, where we post all of our podcasts, plus special video segments, reviews, and live coverage of Transformers-related events such as New York Toy Fair and New York Comic-Con. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please visit us at www.tfu.info, the world's longest-running transforming toy archive.